because he is very, very simple. Aratame school is very simple. We don't use too much materials, and that's I really like about it. We don't have to use too much materials, and they really, like to not to use too much and save the, lots of energy and stuff, because they are very elegant. That's why.
My first Ikebana class was in summer school of 5th grade, and our teacher was from the Ohara school. And then at that time, my mother was taking Ikenobo Ikebana. And so that was the first time I was able to have a conversation with my mother about something we were both interested in. Got to understand that at the very elementary level, there's something common in both schools, the three-dimensionality, and so that's what started it. And so many, many years later, when I was looking for an outlet, I went to look for Ikebana. And I started with Wafu school, and I was very happy because my father was interested in gardening and landscaping. And so I could see a lot of that in the Wafu style. It was the landscape type of arrangement, very naturalistic. Well, I don't think it's Wafu in particular. I think any of the schools, it gives you a way of looking at nature and working the material to achieve a certain composition or look for their natural shape and putting them together, have it artistically. But, you see, the more you work with different materials, the more you begin to see how they relate to each other. So each one is a learning experience and a step to the next one.
The Enshu school is a very traditional, and then the second oldest after Ikenobo school. And then I like very traditional style, not the freestyle. So I have to follow the patterns. The founder of the Enshu school is a Kobori Enshu. He's a lord, and then he was actually the architect, and then he designed art gardens like Nijo Castle in Kyoto, and then Katsurariku in Kyoto, and he also did the tea ceremony too. So he did a lot of things in the Edo period. When I was a high school student in Japan, I was a Sogetsu school student. That was a kind of after-school activities. So everybody did in Japanese high school. And then after I came to the United States as a student at Berkeley, a friend in San Francisco introduced me. If you're in Berkeley, I can introduce you to this person. And then her name is Haruko Obata. She happened to be the Enshu teacher. And then she is actually the founders of the Ikebana International San Francisco chapter. So she was already old at the time. And then after that, I started to take lessons with Sakaki sensei, and then Grand Mistress in Tokyo of the Enshu school. So I've been studying Enshu for over 40 years.
And what kept me in Sogetsu is it's like creating a sculpture. The leaves, the flowers, the branches, they become elements in a sculpture. And that intrigued me. And the more and more I've studied over the years, the more that's very true. I mean, once you learn the basics of what goes here, space, color, form, and you go into freestyle, then that becomes like creating a piece of sculpture. in fact, Mr. Sofu, our founder, Sogetsu people, I think, we tend to have a style that becomes our own, and it's based on who we are. It's a personality expression, but it's also an artistic expression in a free manner. Once you learn the basics, which are very formalized, as in all schools, all of our schools have very formal beginning arrangements that you do to learn the basics. But then you branch out. Then is when you start looking at a flower or a branch or a leaf as an object. It's not just a green leaf, it's a green object that has a certain form or a certain texture, and then you combine all of these into an arrangement. Sometimes actually the hardest arrangement to do is a single flower and a single leaf, because in that single flower and that single leaf, you have to have mass, line, form, and color. And that is extraordinarily hard to do. Mr. Sofu, our founder, his favorite flower was camellia, and he could make these amazingly beautiful arrangements with just a single blossom, a few leaves, and a branch of a camellia. Very difficult. Patience. You have to have patience to do Ikebana. A lot of patience.
Actually, it was kind of a circuitous route. I just sort of fell into doing Ikenobo. And it's only as I was doing Ikenobo that I really began to appreciate the school. It was very elegant, and I think that it was also, the designs are very simple and very clean. And the essence of this school is harmony. The harmony is the most precious element of this school. When you arrange flowers, it's just not arranging the flowers. There's also a sort of a philosophical aspect to arranging the flowers. So you actually develop a strong respect for nature, the character of the elements that you're using. And in the Ikenobo school, they not only use flowers, they use leaves, they use branches, and they use materials in all stages of life. And also, flower arranging really supports music, because I also play music. And so the rhythmic part of the music is something that you should also see in your flower arrangement, that there's some rhythm and movement in your arrangement.
We learn how to make an illusion. That's is the important part of art. That's I really enjoyed practicing the Ohara school, especially landscape arrangement, for instance, is in order we want to capture the nature, but it's not exactly the same exact nature. But we use a technique to create more like a natural scenery. So that's I'm interested. I practice Ikebana as a part of Japanese culture. So that's one thing. And I do is a calligraphy. That's also Japanese culture. Since I was born and raised in Japan, so I want to keep the Japanese culture even in the United States, since I have been living here over 25 years, but still my mind is thinking is everything is in Japanese way. So I like Ohara school has different styles. The hanaisho is a flower design, and and the landscape arrangement, and the rinpacho arrangements. That's reflect to the back is the 17th centuries. We can learn artists those days, and that's interesting. Nature, the kind of cultural background, and also art and nature. So that's grow this the artist.
Good morning and welcome to Ikebana Teachers Federation 2022 New Year Party. My warmest welcome to Mrs. Higuchi, the wife of the Deputy Consul General of Japan, Ms. Ishii, Advisor of Cultural and Educational Affairs, and Mrs. Fujimoto Sensei, the founder of this amazing organization. When we talk about New Year, we talk about new hope and a new dawn for all of us. Everything malevolent that happened in the past year has washed away. Planning and preparations are made meticulously so that the new year will bring nothing but the best of luck. Each culture has their own traditions, what to do and what not to do on the first day of the year. There should be no sweeping of the floor, no washing of the clothes, no taking out the garbage. All of these means that you are flushing your wealth out of the door. Debts must be paid. Children should wear new clothes. The house must be clean, spick and span. As the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve, buckets, pots, and pans should be filled with water to represent the fullness of your fortune. The first person who enters the house, we call that the first footing, can bring luck or misfortune for the year ahead. So it would be very important to choose the right person to walk through that door on New Year Day. Whether these are traditions or superstitions, these are deep-rooted in many cultures, and they are part of the New Year celebration. On this day, we are celebrating the Year of the Tiger. It is the water tiger, to be more specific. So let us look at what the Year of the Tiger brings us. The tiger embodies courage and strength. Water is flexibility. So this year symbolizes resiliency and strength. It shall be a refreshing, good change for all of us. Thank you all for joining this party. My best wishes to you. May this new year brings you good health, good fortune, and a wealth of happiness. Now it is my honor to introduce Mrs. Kaori Higuchi, the wife of the Deputy Consul General of Japan in San Francisco.
Hello everyone and Happy New Year. 明けましておめでとうございます。I believe this may be my first time meeting some of you, and I would like to thank the Ikebana Teachers Federation for welcoming me to your New Year's program. I would especially like to share my appreciation for your president, Ms. Nguyen, and your board for their leadership and a kind invitation. Although this is an eventful time for us all, each of you, the Ikebana instructors of Northern California, have done a tremendous job. When international travel has been difficult, you have been a bridge connecting Northern California with the traditions and culture of Japan. Your arrangements have helped to provide beauty and comfort for your friends and families. And above all, you have been tremendously supportive of your peers and your students, nurturing growth, stability, and inspiration. It is undoubtedly because of you that the Ikebana community here in Northern California is so vibrant and healthy. I hope that when the situation is safe, I may have the opportunity to see you and your gorgeous flowers in person. Until then, I wish you all a safe, warm, and healthy 2022. Thank you.
Good morning. Oh, sorry. May I start?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning and Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you all had a restful and enjoyable holiday season. My name is Yumiko Ishii, Advisor for Cultural and Educational Affairs at the Consulate General of Japan in San Francisco. It is my pleasure to join the Ikebana Teachers Federation for the first time today. And it is very nice to meet you. And thank you for your warm invitation, Thanh Sensei. The consulate has enjoyed many years of partnership with the Federation. In 2020, with ITF's kind assistance, our office held a webinar introducing Ikebana to thousands of viewers in the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond. Although it has been a difficult few years, we at the consulate are truly grateful for how active and involved the Ikebana community has remained. We understand that many of you have learned and applied technology in order to stay connected with your schools, students, and each other. ITF and all of its members have helped to virtually bridge Japan and Northern California despite travel restrictions and the difficulties we all face due to the pandemic. We greatly appreciate your efforts to safely share your knowledge, skills, and passion for Ikebana and Japanese culture. I hope we can meet safely in person when it is deemed safe to do so. Again, I thank you for including us today, and please have a wonderful 2022. Thank you.
Welcome to the demonstration portion of our program. Today, we're pleased to feature members from 6 schools to share their artistry with us. You will see the demonstration in pairs on your screen. Our first 2 demonstrators this morning are Sumi Metz of Aratame School and Mieko Taketa of Ikenobo School. Sumi Metz has studied and taught Ikebana for more than 40 years. First in her hometown of Nagasaki, Japan, and now here in the United States. In the year 2000, Iemoto Seigyo Aratame invited her to join his contemporary Aratame School, established in 1993. She is president of the school's US branch. Her work is rooted in Ikebana traditions while moving its boundaries to reflect and complement modern style. Representing Aratame School, Metz Sensei has demonstrated her skillful and dynamic craft of arrangement with flowers and other materials at numerous Ikebana chapters in the United States and abroad. Mieko Taketa is a senior professor of Ikenobo and holds the highest certificate rank of Sokatoku. She began her study of Ikenobo in 1969. She has exhibited extensively across the Bay Area, including the Oakland Museum, East Bay Garden Center, East Bay Ikenobo Ikebana Society, Ikenobo Ikebana Society Northern California Chapter, Ikebana Teachers Federation, San Francisco Cherry Blossom Festival, and Ikebana International. She currently teaches in El Cerrito and Reno. Please give your attention now to Sumi Metz of Aratame and Mieko Taketa of Ikenobo.
Thank you, Susan. I'm making New Year's arrangement using queens and in queens.
My name is Mieko Taketa. I'm studying Ikenobo. It's the arranged picture, simple type. I use material, queens, overstudy, bird of paradise, success, fine, intermediate, golden step, and Amasaki. Thank you very much.
I'm using Jasmanthus leaves. This is so beautiful. Tied together with no tendon, so it's moving around, but it will stay. In between. I should be inside here. So you will be more nicer. I'll put ranunculus, suisen, not much. I've been having too many suisen, but you know, or happiness, white and red, showing. It's so beautiful when it adds more. Illustrated, so nice. This one showing. No Ken-san arrangement. This is my New Year's arrangement. Thank you.
You're back on, Susan?
Yeah. Oh. Thank you. Thank you, Metz Sensei and Taketa Sensei. Our next presenters are Mina Lam of Sogetsu School and Yoko Tahara of Ohara School. Mina Lam was born in Japan and moved to California in 1992. In 2008, she began studying Sogetsu Ikebana under her teacher Yoshiko Williams in San Mateo. She is a member of Sogetsu San Francisco Bay Area branch, Ikebana International, and Ikebana Teachers Federation, and as such has participated in many demonstrations and displays with all organizations. In addition, she enjoys making her own ceramic vases. Yoko Hoyo Tahara began studying Ikebana with Ohara School under Hosui Masuda in Hiroshima in 1970. After moving to the United States in 1991, she pursued her Ikebana studies with Grandmaster Suiyo Fujimoto. She currently holds the Associate First Master's degree in Ikebana. Yoko is a member of the North American Ohara Teachers Association, the Ikebana International San Francisco Bay Area chapter, and the Ikebana Teachers Federation. She has designed and has been maintaining the website of the North America Ohara Teachers Association since 2006, and has been maintaining the website for the Ikebana International San Francisco chapter. Yoko has been teaching Ikebana in her studio in San Carlos in the Bay Area and enjoys walking with her family and friends in her neighborhood. Please welcome Mina Lam of Sogetsu School and Yoko Tahara of Ohara School.
I think the screen is not shared. Don't need to share it. I think she muted.
Yoko-san, I think you're still muted.
sorry for that. Can I start?
Go ahead.
Yes, please do.
Okay. My name is Yoko Tahara. It's my pleasure to be one of demonstrators today. And for New Year celebration, I would like to make a Rinpa-cho style arrangement today.
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mina Lam from Sogetsu. Happy New Year. And I'm probably, people was wondering what's this red things. Actually, this is like still I don't know how to say in English and Japanese. It's like a bamboo shade. I think it's they're using for table runner. And I just curled up and make a shape like this. And it's put onto the vase. That's this red thing this is. Okay.
The material that I'm using is the Camellia japonica, and 5 kinds. In Japanese, there are each has names, but in the United States, I identify the camellias, then all Camellia japonica. So I said Camellia japonica, 5 kinds. And then I'm going to use forsythia, only Camellia and the forsythia.
And I'm using a pine. I got it from my yard, and I got a Nandina branch. It's kind of shedding a little bit. Then also I'm gonna use a moss. And this red one is making hana dome. It's good and bad, because sometimes I want to put right here, but I can't see a space. If you see space, then very useful tool to hold the branches or trees. Okay. And I'm gonna use oops. And I'm gonna put some mom here. Okay. Use this.
For this arrangement, we use a material that we can find in the Rinpa paintings in Edo period. That is flourish. It's from 17th century to the 18th century. So it's a long term, but there are many well-known painters produced a lot of paintings.
I made this container, and I needed some color because this container is kind of all white. So I just use gold paper to attach it to the base and make a little bit color to it. Sometimes see if I got this mom like a week ago, but still they're good.
I'm so lucky to have a gorgeous camellias from my friend's yard. Actually, she lives in a farming area in Peninsula, so Peninsula Bay area. So I could jump into her garden, and then I got this. Thank you so much.
So beautiful, camellia. I want to put it up down. This guy shaking a little bit. Oops. Then I got the red berry. It's called Scarlet Firethorn, Pure Cancer Coconuts. Here, my garden had a beautiful berry. I think probably toxic, so birds, they don't eat it. I have a tons of berries in my yard, but no one eating it or no one using it. More. A little bit different.
Characteristic of the rimpa cho arrangement is as you see the rimpa painting, that's flat. So there is not much depth. So it's I'm creating the rimpa painting sort of. So the composition is very important and color, and I try to show the kind of decorative image. I hope I can present the part.
I think I need to change the position, but it kind of was stuck in there and I cannot move it. And I got the Mizuhiki.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I was thinking put the red and white, but maybe some color to add it. Okay. It's a wire here, so I'm not sure. And this looks okay. How it looks. looks okay to you. I have a cheating. I just turned. Squished it. I think I'm done. Yoko-san, I think I'm finished.
I'm done. Are you done? Okay. I'm
Yeah.
finishing, so just I want to make sure that any empty space shown to you. So
Sure. Not sure I'm okay with this one. Sometimes very hard to see from back. So. And I'm looking at the small screen to adjust it. Very nice arrangement.
So this is completion of the arrangement. I hope it looks okay to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lam Sensei and Tahara Sensei. We see that the arrangements have been very different, and we have two more schools. Our final demonstrators are Hiroko Maeda of Enshu School and Connie Chen of Wafu School. Hiroko Maeda started Ikebana lessons when she was a high school student in Japan, where she took Sogetsu school lessons as an after-school activity. After coming to Berkeley as a student, she began taking Ikebana with Haruko Obata, the Enshu school teacher, who was one of the founders of the Ikebana International San Francisco chapter. Since then, she has been studying Enshu Ikebana for over 40 years. Whenever she goes back to Japan, she takes lessons from the Grand Mistress of Enshu, Shinkai, in Tokyo. In Japan, she is a member of the Ikebana Geijutsu Kyokai. Connie Chen has been studying Wafu Ikebana under Fusaka Seigo Hoirup since 1999. She was introduced to Wafu Ikebana through a colleague who brought her class arrangement to work. Connie says that moment opened her eyes to the art of flower arrangement, and she began attending classes. She continues to study Ikebana with great enjoyment and passion. Connie is a member of the Ikebana International San Francisco Bay Area chapter, Ikebana Teachers Federation, and she is a board member of the Wafu Ikebana Society North California chapter. Please welcome Hiroko Maeda and Connie Chen.
Hi, my name is Hiroko Maeda. This is the Enshu style, formal style arrangement, and I use plants and then maybe some tulips. And usually we use one branch, three branches, and then just one kind of flowers for Enshu style. And then we need to use knife and saw.
Everyone, my name is Connie, and in Taiwan, the New Year, we would love to use the gold color and red color. So today I have the chrysanthemum and boxwood as the gold color, and the dianthus and wax flower as a red color. And I also have the peeled pussy willows. Pussy willows in Taiwanese is kind of same pronunciation of the will. So I wish everyone has a good well in the year of tiger. So I use the pussy willow make the shape, and now I will start doing my arrangement. I've been practiced a lot this time because it's fun to do the arrangement at home, but I realized same material, no matter how I practice, it comes up differently. So I never can expect the same arrangement, even though I use the same material. That is the fun thing to me, and really look at the different feeling when I do the arrangement. I have the different feeling of arrangement. So I will try to make my baseline first.
In Enshu style, we use lots of wedges to put it in. Cut the branches and then insert the wedge. And then make a curve.
Considering I have short arms, but making this arrangement, I realized that because of the line, my arms are not long enough.
It takes about 1 hour to make a formal arrangement usually. So today it's just a simple, I'll make it simple.
And last, I will decorate with, as I say, the wax flower. Red and I like the light pink wax flower. It relaxes the whole arrangement a lot.
This is just a simple arrangement for Enshu formal style.
So I think this is the completion of my arrangement for today, which everyone have good year of tiger. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maeda Sensei and Chen Sensei. You can see that you've brightened our days with such beautiful creations. So this concludes the flower Ikebana portion of our program, and we go on to two more speakers. First, we'll have Naoko Kakyu Aiko. She's an Ikebana student of Nguyen Sensei, and she will speak to us about calligraphy. She's originally from Japan and has been doing calligraphy since she was 9 years old at Shoshin Shodokai. She is joining us today from Massachusetts, where she has recently relocated. Naoko-san?
Hi. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Naoko Aiko. If you're practicing Ikebana, you're probably interested in other Japanese arts too. So today, I will tell you a little about the Japanese art of calligraphy called shodo. Here's what I will go over today. I will talk about the 3-do, the major traditional Japanese arts, the different writing systems in Japanese language, different script styles used in Japanese calligraphy, and how the word Ikebana looks in calligraphy. Before we move on, let's start off with gago. I know some of you Ikebana people have gago. For those who don't know about gago, gago is a name that artists use instead of their real name. Gago in Ikebana is your flower name. Gago in calligraphy is your calligraphy name. Gago is not only for flower or calligraphy name, but also writers, painters, other artists can be used gagos. Ordinarily, people choose their gago by themselves, but nowadays it is also common for teachers to name their students. Sometimes teachers give their students a name with a character from their own gago, or there are certain patterns depending on your level of your learning. In my case, my teacher gave me my gago. My gago is Kakyu. Ka means flower. This is character also in my teacher's gago. Also, our group name, branch name is Hana, which also means flower. Kyu means bow. My ancestor was a samurai archer. That's why my teacher put the word bow in my gago. So in this way, each gago has a unique story. Now we move on to the 3 ways. That is the top 3 Japanese traditional arts. In Japanese, we say sando. In Japanese performing and fine arts, there are 3 major arts: tea ceremony, Japanese flower arrangement, and Japanese calligraphy. Some people say sando. The 3 arts are tea ceremony, Ikebana, and Japanese incense. Do means a way or philosophy that you devote your life to. The spirit of Do is aiming for higher and higher levels. In that sense, the goal is never really met. The striving lasts your entire life. Next, I would like to talk about Japanese writing systems. In the modern Japanese language, we have 3 writing systems that are all used together in Japanese writing. They are called hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Hiragana is used for writing native Japanese words. Katakana is used for writing long words, also foreign names and foreign countries. Kanji came from China a long time ago. This is the oldest of the 3 systems. In school, kanji is the last one we learn because the shapes are more complicated, have more strokes, and there are more of them. Using these three systems, the word Ikebana can be written in 3 ways like this. So let's see the difference using the word Ikebana, for example. Hiragana has curves, simple strokes. When I see hiragana, it looks soft and cute because of the shape, maybe friendly because everyone, even children, can read it. It even looks childish. Next is Ikebana in katakana. Normally, Ikebana is written in hiragana or kanji because Ikebana is a Japanese thing. If I see this in katakana, it looks somewhat international or modern or creative. Using katakana for Japanese things looks like emphasis. Kanji looks normal or formal for me, but maybe fancy for other people. Depending on the characters, kanji can look strong, powerful, or conventional. There is no correct answer. So, using in those systems, hiragana in Ikebana is look like this. Ikebana, simple stroke and soft curves. And Ikebana in katakana looks like this. Ikebana. Also, it looks very simple. Ikebana in kanji is like this. It looks very normal for me. Ikebana. So let's go back to the screen again. All right. Okay, now we go over the different script systems. So today I will talk about 3 styles: kaisho, gyosho, and sousho. Kaisho is regular script, gyosho is semi-cursive script, sousho is cursive script. Kaisho is a basic style. This is the first style you learn when you study calligraphy. Each stroke is separate and clear line. This is the easiest style to be read. Okay, gyosho is semi-cursive. These strokes are slightly connected. In calligraphy, this style is little advanced. If you cannot write kaisho, writing gyosho is difficult. Sousho is the faster to write than other styles and harder to read and more advanced. So means grass. In Japanese, so means rough or sloppy, but it's just one of the styles in calligraphy. It doesn't mean ugly. So using this script, kaisho in Ikebana is this. You already saw this because this is the basic Ikebana. And semi-cursive gyosho is look like this. It's faster to write and the lines are slightly connected. And sousho is even faster and harder to read like this. It's more simplified because it's faster compared to this. This is the basic. This is the sousho. Okay. So I also have more unique version, more creative version, We basically saw the basic style, basic and semi-cursive, cursive, and this is a freestyle, more creative style. I received this from my master Kaho sensei, my teacher from Japan. This is also Ikebana. Ikebana, kind of cute. Ikebana, it's like more unique. And Ikebana like this. I don't know which one is your favorite. So go back to the screen to summarize what we learned today. The three ways sando are tea ceremony, flower arrangement, and Japanese calligraphy. The three writing systems in modern Japanese, there are hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And we learn three scripts in calligraphy: kaisho, the basic, gyosho, semi-cursive, and sousho, the cursive. Just as Ikebana has many different styles, schools also has differences. And so Shodo also has differences too. Ikebana practitioners use flower and branch materials or other materials. Calligraphy practitioners use characters as our materials too. Some people just like the basic, simple kaisho style, but with other styles, you can express a wide range of feeling and attitude. Thank you for listening. I am Naoko Aiko or Kakyu Aiko. If you have any questions or comments, please use the chat box. Otherwise, I hope you stay calm and humble with your Ikebana practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Naoko-san. Wow. I knew it was complicated when way long ago, I could not understand any of the letters my grandmother wrote to my father. So now we have our next speaker, Nadine Priestley. Nadine is a portrait photographer in Palo Alto. And at the same time she began her portrait business, she also started taking Ikebana lessons from Nguyen sensei more than a decade ago. She continues learning many Ikebana and design principles while enjoying beautifully designed flowers in her home each week. This work has heavily influenced her photographic eye. Nadine's first career, spanning over 25 years, was in accounting, finance, and business operations. She is a former board member and chair of the San Jose Repertory Theater, and is also a former board member and co-chair of Gamble Garden's largest fundraising event, Spring Tour. Nadine has been photographing 5 private gardens selected annually for the Gamble Spring Tour over 15 years. So here's a chance for you to get some hints perhaps on how to take better photographs of our Ikebana arrangements. Nadine?
Thank you, Susan. I am now trying to find my key to play this lovely design here. Give me one moment. Okay, I'm ready to begin. So I'm hoping today that we can think about what are we photographing for with our Ikebana designs. And, you know, sometimes it's archiving our images. We put a lot of work into creating designs. And I think it's really lovely to go back and see what we've done and what materials we've combined. Sometimes we're just looking for inspiration and we're going to shows, Ikebana International, maybe the Cherry Blossom Festival, maybe something in Cupertino. put on by the Wafu school. We're looking for inspiration, and we're using our phones to make pictures of things to help augment our memory. Sometimes we like to use those images for things like making cards or making books, or just sending an image online to a friend, or conveying something we're really proud of that we've created, or we want to show something that was inspiring to us. So the first thing I want to talk about is composition in terms of what we're doing when we're actually making images. So this was one of the shows, 2018, back in Cupertino, a Wafu student. And I was, in this area where everything is so beautifully displayed with different background colors. And I was trying to take the picture with my iPhone right out of the camera and get everything perfect, and try not to get anybody else's design in this image, but you can see I cut off the top of this image. So that's not what I wanted to do. So I took another picture, and you can see I actually got the top, but you can tell where I've gotten some other extraneous information that I think takes away from this image. Well, most of us have the capability of using editing tools right in our phones to crop the images. So I started with this image where you can see the entire design, but I really wanted to eliminate anything that was not essential or anything that was distracting. So I then decided I would crop this image and look at this beautiful design. Oh, I didn't give you much time to see it, but when the extraneous information was cropped out of it, you could enjoy it more. At that same show, I saw a design on stage that Fusako had created. I was there, I knew how big it was, but would anyone else know that? I think sometimes it's important to take extra images to show what the scale of what you're seeing is. So you can see the lovely design on the left that Fusako created, but on the right, you can see people, you can see the stage. It gives you so much more appreciation for what's around the image. Sometimes you also want to see details. I don't know about you, but today there were a lot of interesting combinations of materials. This particular listing was provided in that demonstration, and it included all of the different pieces that were included in the design. And I personally find that very helpful to just think about that. And then, of course, in the design, we focused on the two pieces together, but sometimes it's nice to even see details in just a portion of the design, which is why I have this second image included here. And you can even see the moss growing on the branch material in that tiny design that maybe wasn't even apparent before. This is my teacher, Tang Nguyen, and she was doing a virtual Ikebana design from her new area, and I was there to help make some images. And I think one of the things that I love about telling stories is not only having the finished design that we can see here on the right with all its clarity, very simplistic background so that you really see the image, but I also love seeing, some of the tools and how things are created and what the perspective of the size is. Additionally, I think sometimes when we're photographing our designs from different angles, it can provide different essential ingredients to the story. So think about not only photographing things straight on, but also seeing angles, especially in these last couple of years where we're all performing this 3D art and seeing it 2D. It really helps sometimes to see what some of those angles are, even in our photographs. So don't be afraid to take images, multiple images of your same design. Another subject people are often very curious about is lighting. And why do they even care about lighting? Because they actually want to see what it is that we're photographing. So this happened to be that virtual Ikebana experience that I was able to photograph with Thanh a couple, I don't know, 1 or 2 years ago, sometime during COVID. And I was very blessed to have this big area with some natural light coming in from open doors and other spaces. And if you look very carefully at this design, really the biggest shadows that you see are down by her feet underneath the design that of course the light was flowing through and blocking, but most of the design you can see very, very well. When we're each working on photographing our own designs, whether it's at a show or in our homes or anywhere, light is the key to being able to see what we're doing. And sometimes there's constant light where we turn on a light bulb, I mean, even the sun at that moment can be constant. I mean, it's not going away, but maybe a cloud comes and takes it away. There's also LED lights. A lot of times you'll see bloggers or other people use a constant light. Our videographers use those often, where you can actually see exactly what the light is. Other times when I'm photographing a person, I'm using an off-camera flash and it will just flash when I'm making the portrait of that person. Or maybe I even choose to use that for one of my Ikebana designs. However, a flash is a burst and it's hard for the untrained person to know what's going to happen. Another thing that we have in our phones is an on-phone flash right in our cameras. Oftentimes that's not quite as flattering as other methods. So if you're very interested in exploring flash, you might even contemplate going to one of your local camera stores, you know, like Mike's Camera, Sammy's Camera, San Jose Camera and Video. All have experts who can help you with your particular situation. Another thing to think about is the position of the light. If you are using lights, it is often good to imagine what something looks like from the sun. You know, the sun is very high, it's often angled, and that looks very natural to us. So when you're putting any sort of augmented light around your beautiful design to make pictures, think about positioning the flashes, you know, higher or lower, maybe at a different angle to get the lighting that you're really looking for. And one of the things that's very non-intuitive, I think, is oftentimes the closer the light is to your design, the softer the light is. And I really love soft light, and I try to get my flashes close to my designs, but not in the picture. Another common challenge for people is thinking that they need too much light to make something look good. So while light can be very powerful, I think the beauty is often in the very subtleness. So if you feel like your flashes or your lighting is not working the way that you wish, think about making it much weaker so that there's only a little bit of light, not too much light. Don't bathe it in such strong light that you can't see the beauty of what you've created. Because the softer light is created with lights that are closer to our designs, many times there's a modification made to the light to make it softer by covering the light with layers of fabric or special, they're called waffled egg crates. They're not the kind that you put your eggs in from the chicken coop. They're a different kind of egg crate designed to direct the light. So anyway, I just wanted to make you aware that there are many different ways to be able to enjoy lighting our designs. Another thing to be aware of is light comes in many different colors. It can range from very blue, maybe out in the cold with the snow when you're skiing, to in the evening when you're sitting at home in the dark with your lamps on and they have that very yellow hue to them. So when you're adding additional light to your designs when you're photographing them, you'll likely be most pleased if the lighting that you add is the same color as it is when you are in the room with your design. So they measure lights using a Kelvin scale, and many of the LED constant lights that are available now are also adjustable to the Kelvin scale. I've also been asked about colors for backgrounds for designs. Today we saw many of our designers using either a white background or a dark background. And you probably noticed how they look different. Some of the demonstrators were maybe in their homes with another touch of color, and it really impacts the way that you receive how you see their design. So when you're thinking about a background or background color, you probably want to start with thinking about, what are you trying to convey? Do you want it to be modern and light? If so, you might use a white background. If you want it to be more dark and moody, a black background. Are you trying to make it very vibrant and accentuating the design with certain colors? You might choose something else. If you're looking for a variety of just colors, I often use papers that are quite large from a company called Savage. And those are also available at the camera stores. A couple tips for professional results when you are making images of your designs. One of the things I really love is creating a digital album on my phone specifically for designs. I happen to use the iPhone, but I know every phone has a system. I just can't speak to it. But for me, I create an album specifically for Ikebana, and that helps me focus on what I want to retrieve when I'm just looking for Ikebana versus looking for family member pictures or other things. So if you haven't used the album feature in your phone, that would be something to consider learning. It's very easy once you've had a chance to practice it. I would also encourage you to photograph each design you create. I'm sure many of you are creating things every week, and I don't know about you, but it's hard to remember for me what I've created 6 months ago, but I sure love enjoying seeing what seasonal material I used the prior year or just being inspired. And I hope you will too. I do hope you'll also experiment with seeing the light in your design and trying new things. Maybe just try one new thing and see how you like it. Eliminating distracting elements from your backgrounds by cropping is one of the easiest things to do. And that's another tool that you can do right in your camera. It just takes a little bit of practice if you haven't done that already. So review your work periodically and enjoy taking in not only your work, but the work of others and being inspired. Thank you for allowing me to talk with you today. I hope that you can take away at least 1 or 2 things from this presentation that you will enjoy during the upcoming year. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Nadine. Wow, now we have some ideas to try. And speaking of photographs, I'm hoping that each of our demonstrators today would send me a copy of a photo of their arrangement for our ITF historians file. Now, do we have Thanh Sensei still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I'll hand things over to Thanh.
Well, I am back. And how do you think about the program so far? I am actually blown up. My minds are blown as because of all these demonstrations from the different schools. And then the two speakers, you can never learn enough. And today I learned quite a bit about photography and calligraphy. I don't know if I'm gonna ever learn calligraphy. I'm too old for that. It looks like if Naoko-san started at 9 years old, I have to live a second life to do that. But I do wanted to express my deepest appreciation for all the demonstrators and the guest speakers, Naoko-san and Nadine Priestley, for doing so much information, and what a wonderful presentation that you ladies and gentlemen presented today. To close the program, we really have this honor for having Mrs. Fujimoto Sensei, the founder of ITF. You know, ITF was founded in 1972. And out of the founders, there are 3 founders, Mrs. Fujimoto is now the only one survivor. So it is what an honor and a privilege to have Mrs. Fujimoto today with us to have the closing remarks.
Hi, thank you very much. And Susan, and nice program. And today, every demonstrator is a very good job. And anyway, thank you for all the members, because I make about 50 years ago, and I make this organization. But those people, everybody is gone. Just I'm 96 years old, but still I teaching Ikebana, and I looking for the all the teachers work. So I'm so happy. And frankly, I make this organization not easy, because 3 teachers against for the make this organization. But after we make the organization, they come to the members, and they help to our group too. And this group make, then we should display to the Cherry Blossom Festival. And that time, the Mr. Saiki, Ikenobo teacher, is a Cherry Blossom committee, and he contacted for me, and I contacted the other member, and still continue to they do the Cherry Blossom Festival. And I'm so happy, and still they continue to this group. I'm so happy. Thank you very much, and everybody, Happy New Year. Thank you very much for everybody.
So this concludes the program. And I will see you soon, hopefully in person. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Tan Sensei.
Thank you, Miss
Thank
Ishii.
you.
Thank you, Miss Ishii.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you all. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs.
Bye.
Higuchi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.